Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Keith Good joining us here, our man who is in the middle of a move. He's ready to go. It's exciting to have him here with all his holistic, being and all he offers, all his goods, shall I say. Keith, would you mind saying hello and tell us all about the goods?
Yes. Well, hello, everyone. And I'm Keith Good, Goods Holistic Healing. I'm happy to be invited back here. Goods Holistic Healing, I'm a Reiki practitioner and spiritual seeker. I also do a lot of other non-traditional healing modalities, such as some shadow work, which will be starting soon, and crystal healing, crystal Reiki, chakra balancing, and so forth. And you can reach me at goodsholistichealing.com. You can go on there and look at what we offer. You can also email me at info@goodsholistichealing.com, and you can call at 406-272-6006, and we can see what you're doing. We do offer a 1-hour free consultation, which is usually the way I like to start with people so that they can get an idea of what I do and I can get an idea of what they're looking for. So that's the long and the short of that. So today I think I'm going to have Jill ask me a question and see if we can do something from there instead of being on a specific subject.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, I mean, with all you do as a healer, right? I mean, I just feel like a lot of times, let me ask you this, during the holidays, a lot of us feel, I think lonely, down, depressed, maybe missing those that we've loved in the past. And, how can we better ourselves through the holiday to make us happier, more positive? What are some of the things that we should be doing instead of focusing on the negative, maybe who's not at the table this year, or, the stress and depression? You know how it gets around the holidays, right? I think for most of us.
Oh, yes.
As an energy healer, how would you guide someone through that?
Well, the first thing that I would say is everybody needs to stay in the moment. It is often said that depression is by looking into the past and dwelling on the past, and anxiety is looking into the future and worrying about the future. So if we stay in the moment, we alleviate both of those. Now, that's not an easy chore to stay in the moment, and that means, for instance, if you say, here's a box of Kleenex. If I'm going to get a Kleenex out of that box, I have to make the decision first to do it. Then I have to stay in a moment long enough to reach over to the Kleenex box, pull the Kleenex out. Each one of those is a separate part of staying in the moment. And then using the Kleenex. Each one of those is a separate decision that has been made. So that's how minute staying in the moment can be. It doesn't usually have to be that way, but I'm saying that's how minute staying in the moment is every action we make is a decision being made. If we are using past references, which most all of us do, if we're using past references to help manipulate that instead of using them to guide and learn from, then we can go into a depression. So by staying with uplifting people, by staying in the moment, and knowing that anything in the past you can't change, so there's no sense in worrying about it. Nothing can be changed from your past, and you don't know what the future brings. So,
yeah.
I don't know if I've said this on this channel before, but it's one of my favorite sayings. I'm in recovery, and this is a saying out of the recovery book. Not in the book, but in the people that are in the recovery. It says, if you have 1 foot in yesterday and 1 foot in tomorrow, you're peeing on today. And today, so you're peeing on the present, and today is the present.
I like that saying. So I've never heard that.
Stay in the moment. Well, we usually use a little stronger words.
I got it. But this is great. Kate, that's a good one.
So if you stay in the moment, you don't have to worry about the past, nor you don't focus on the past, nor worry about the future. Beautiful. And that helps. And I get a lot of guff over that sometimes from people who say, well, what about the mentally ill? But that's part of that's one of their issues, is that they're always somewhere instead of being right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. Okay. I love that analogy there. I'm going to have to use that one later or at the family party for my depressed cousins.
Yeah, because you're living in the past. I have several friends that like to always talk about, well, this happened in my childhood, or this happened in last week, and if this didn't happen, it already happened. You can't do anything about it. Learn from it and move on. And that sounds pretty curt, but that's the truth of it, though. Learn from it and move on. You don't have to live in the past. You learn from the past. Everything we do in life, excuse me, everything we do in this third dimension as an experience is all learning experiences.
Wow.
There's really no good nor bad.
Yeah.
We put the good or bad on it. But if we learn from them and either learn that not to repeat it, or learn how to better it, or learn how to not do it at all, or learn how to forgive ourselves for doing things.
Wow.
We have it's so much easier to forgive other people, and it's not easy to do that even. But it is so much easier to forgive other people than it is to forgive yourself.
Got it. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. I like that one, Keith.
We are harder on ourselves than anybody out there.
Yeah.
The worst boss you ever had in the world is not as hard on you as you are on yourself.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Good one.
So therefore we have to forgive ourselves for being in certain situations, for letting things happen to us, because we make those choices. Everything we do in life, especially as an adult. Now, I'm not talking children, because children's a whole different thing, because they don't have choices. They have to do what parents tell them. And so they have very few choices to make compared to adults. But everything we do in life is a choice. We don't have to live in Billings, Montana. I don't have to go by the status quo. I don't have to live up to the Joneses.
Yeah.
I can do what I can do what is best for me. And how do I find out what's best for me?
Yeah.
Other than having a relationship with your own higher power. That's where you get your guidance from. Your higher power, the source, universe, whatever you want to call it, will guide you if you let go. The problem is we are so connected to our ego, we don't let go of anything. I came up with this definition. Nobody told me this, but I came up with this definition a long time ago, that fear is not trusting in your higher power to take care of you.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, I feel inspired. I do. Really. Well, you help so many discover like this clarity. So a lot of people, obviously, you must tell them they're living in the past. They got to move on. And I know some people say it's curt, but I think it's the right thing to do. If nothing else has been working, maybe they just haven't met someone like you who's telling them straight up how to change, how to be there. What about meditation? Do you advise people to meditate to become more present, or what are some of the things we could do to become more present?
Absolutely. Meditation, as I mentioned in the last video, meditation is the biggest healer there is. And if you truly meditate in a manner that brings you to the middle, or brings you closer to the Christ consciousness, or closer to enlightenment, the more you're going to not worry about things. The more you're going to be in the moment, because you're seeing things for what they are. You're seeing things as let me see how to put this. If Earth is a movie that God is putting on, we are the actors and actresses, but we are also the spectators. So if you become more of the spectator of the earth than the actor, then you're doing what's needed for life, but not doing the unnecessary egotistical things that people do. And that's where meditation will take you. Meditation will help you to find the spectator in you. So, and it will also help you. And I thought of this. I was reviewing the last podcast we did, as I was reviewing it this morning, I thought, meditation, because of its healing power, helps us to get in touch with the childhood traumas that we've had. It helps us get in touch with any of the shadows that we have, whether we've created them or other people have helped us create them by being a child that we don't, like I said, we don't have the power to make our own choices as a child oftentimes. So meditation not just helps us find them, and it may not be finding the actual incident that happens, but finding the emotion around it and then dealing with that emotion, letting that emotion come out. We hide so many emotions. So meditation does so many different things that it is by far the true healer. And so it can help us deal with, because most of our depression and anxiety is what we've dealt with as a child. It's instances that have happened in our past that we don't know how to deal with. And because we don't know how to deal with them, and the reason we didn't know how to deal with them is because our brain wasn't developed. We had the brain of a child is not developed. Your brain really isn't developed to about 25 years old.
Okay.
Completely.
Wow.
So even an 18-year-old that's going to war doesn't have or that's drinking or that's doing whatever, doesn't have a mature brain yet.
Yeah.
So with that said, because we live through emotion right now, and we often live through the past.
Mm-hmm.
So we revert back to whatever caused us to react in a certain way from the past. So we can meditate, and by finding those feelings and letting those feelings be felt and letting them out, and doing it oftentimes with the guidance of somebody who knows how to deal with those things, then you can stop living in the past, get rid of some of that depression, get rid of some of the anxieties. Because what is anxiety but worrying because of what's happened in the past?
Got it.
Okay. You had this happen to you in the past when this kind of a situation was going on. So now I'm going to worry about whether that's going to happen again for me. So by dealing with the shadow work, we can then deal with all the anxieties and depressions in a much better way. With professional help. It's not something that you want to try to do on your own necessarily.
No.
Although some people can.
No.
But usually people have either a guru or a mental health worker, or some kind of spiritual mentor, or somebody who has dealt with some of this on their own to help them go through this stuff.
Yeah.
So meditation, you can't say enough about meditation. Meditation is because meditation gets us in touch with spirit. Mm-hmm. Spirit allows us to see the world for what it really is.
Got it.
So that's what makes everything happen.
All right, Keith, remind us how we can reach out to you. Tell us the website, phone number.
The website is goodholistichealing.com. Phone number is 406-272-6006. And of course, you can email at info@goodholistichealing.com.
All right. And also, there's a lot to the services you provide as well. And let me ask you, I know, you're not a medical expert, but there's things that you do with holistic healing that can help people if they're dealing with any health concerns. True. Could you share a little bit about that?
Sure. Anytime energy is moving, subtle energies, not gross energies. Gross energies are what we do when we move our hands and so forth, of course. And when subtle energies are moving that even the doctors don't understand, that helps to move the whatever the doctors are helping you with. So we need to have a marriage between them. We need to have a marriage between Eastern and Western medicine. Now this is a practice. This is a modality I don't do, but let's take one of the ones that's most commonly known, and that's acupuncture. Now, I don't know a whole lot about acupuncture other than it is hitting specific spots of your body to increase or decrease or change the energies that are in that spot. Those are subtle energies, other energies that we can't see, feel, or in science cannot find in our bodies. Wow. And those come from spirit. That's why they're subtle energies. They come through with the spirit. So all the modalities that we do, whether it's Reiki, acupuncture, massage therapists, any kind of energy work will enhance, if not help or heal the person, along with allopathic or Western medicine. So there should be a way of working together. And some hospitals do it, but most of them do it in a hospice situation to help them pass on. Cleveland Clinic uses it. Mayo Clinic uses it. I don't remember some of the other ones right off the top of my head, but I think University of Pittsburgh's using it. And so I think there's some major ones out there. Johns Hopkins, I think, is using some, but most of it's in a hospice situation.
Got it.
And that's just to help people transition to the spirit world, I think, more than anything. But I think it can be used more. I one time had I think I mentioned this before. I had a sprained ankle, severely sprained ankle, and I went to a physical therapist, and I told her I was doing self-Reiki on myself, and she said, anybody that's having any kind of energy work, specifically Reiki, was what she was talking about, said they heal faster when I'm working with them.
I like hearing
So it can help. It doesn't, and we have to understand that there are 3 ways of healing. There are 3 methods of healing, and some people don't like to hear all 3 of them, but it is the truth. We can heal our third dimensional body. Now, we're talking only third dimensional body, not spirit. We can heal our third dimensional body by maintenance, such as diabetes, by curing a disease, or by death.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to hear the third one, but that's a healing. You're going out into you are then leaving everything you have behind on a physical physical and emotional, sometimes even detriment that you have in your with yourself. And so therefore there's a lot of so you don't just to say I'm healing doesn't mean I'm going to get rid of your diabetes. It means that you may help to maintain it. You may get off of some of medicine or something because you're learning how to. Your body is redoing its energy systems, and those energy systems all come from the chakras, and and each chakra, as we discussed before, is connected to an endocrine gland. So quite often our problems are hormonal, not physical.
Got it. All right. Well, good holistic healing. I know you're helping so many you guide them down their own path. And with energy healing and all, do you also help people kind of reform? Have you helped like drug addicts or alcoholics, people like that? Does energy healing help with someone who battles addiction?
I don't really deal with the battling of addiction. I deal with people who are already in recovery to help them find a understanding of spirituality. Because recovery is a spiritual, for most people, recovery becomes a spiritual experience. So therefore, by using that spirit, what I do is deal with them is in a spiritual way, in a spiritual experience way, and in a way of letting them know that this higher power that they have chosen, we go through that and help them refine that, or help a person evolve from that. Because this is an evolution. The purpose of life is for an ascension, to ascend into a higher consciousness, ascend into a higher vibration. And I will tell you, as a recovering addict myself, recovering alcoholic, that until I found out that I could have a higher power of my own understanding, that I didn't have to have the one that I grew up with, there was no choice. There was no chance for me to get sober. I had to be able to have a non-judgmental God, one that would love me no matter what I did. One that there was, I had to have certain things in my own mind to be able to figure out these things. And that's what really drew me to this path that I'm on today.
Wow.
I drank for 21 years straight. And when I found out that I didn't have to have a higher power, and speaking about staying in the moment, that's the other way you get clean or sober, is by staying in today. I only have to stay clean or sober today. I don't have to worry about drinking or drugging tomorrow. So there is a significance to that staying in the moment.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And to be open about that to your listeners today. And with, Reiki and energy healing, is there things with, we always talk about adults, right? What about children? Do you work with the young children? And if so, what type of things does a child benefit from with energy healing?
Well, I have dealt with a few children. The one that sticks in my mind the most is one that was having growing pains.
Okay.
And I had lots of pains in this person's legs, and the energies help to alleviate that pain. Mm-hmm. We do things a little differently with children. We don't make them lay on a massage table for hours at a time. What I do for 3 minutes on an adult, I do for a minute on a child. So the Reiki is a lot faster. I let them play with their rabbit or their doll or their toy as long as they can stay laying down. I give them something to do with themselves because they're very, very impatient about waiting on this to happen,
Yeah.
But it does work. It does help. It'll help with almost anything. It'll help with it could help if people would use it. It could help with abusive situations where the child has been abused and they've been taken out of the home and they need healing. Mm-hmm. It can help tremendously with that. It can help with growing pains. It can help with mental issues to try and bring them back into the moment. It can help with other issues of almost any kind. The biggest probably challenge is finding the parent who allows this to happen, who allows the energy work to be performed on them. I watched on TV one time and I didn't do it, but I watched it happen, and I don't know what modality they were using, where there was a young man with cerebral palsy, and he wanted to be more like a real child. And when he got off of one session, he was able to grasp the monkey bars. He still couldn't climb them, but he could grab them, that he could never go any more like this before. So it does help. It'll help with challenging developments, whether it's physical development or mental development. It can help alleviate some of the challenges. And I find real quick, I want to say this, that I find one of the issues that we have with children is that the parents' expectations are usually a lot bigger than the child's expectations.
Yeah.
And their parent wants everything to be fixed and cured and healed today, and it doesn't work that way. It takes time.
Got it.
And it's not something that happens in one session. Although there can be a lot happen in one session, it doesn't mean that they don't need to keep coming back and doing it. And that's one of the biggest problems with any of this healing, is that we have to keep coming back, and that creates the clients thinking the practitioner is trying to take advantage of them when they're not.
Got it. Well,
when they think they're just out for money,
Oh, well, I need to, unfortunately, we have to wrap it up today. And how did you want to leave off, if you don't mind?
Again, goodsholistichealing.com. Please contact us through info@goodsholistichealing.com. Call at 406-272-6006. I ought to mention, too, that phone number can also be a text. And take advantage of the 1-hour free consultation that I have to offer. I'd really appreciate seeing you and talking to you and seeing how things are going. And thank you all very much. Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much. Hope you have a fantastic day, and looking forward to next time we get to speak. Happy holidays to you, and best of luck with this move and all you're going through, and exciting time of change in your life, but uncertainty. But there's a reason, there's a way, and you will figure it all out, right? I love that.
That's right.
Adventurous guy you are, Keith Good. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day there. And are you still so you're in Billings, Montana right now?
Nope, I'm in Canyon City, Colorado.
Oh, there we go. Awesome. On the move. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education
And to finish what I started to get my diploma.
just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.